It is time for our hot seat segment of the day. And I know you and I have been talking about this guy for pretty much the entire season. We have yet to be impressed by him. I think that he is absolutely on the hot seat, but I want to know, in your opinion, should he be on the hot seat? Because right now his team is doing what they should be doing to not be on the hot seat, and that is that man, Mike McCarthy, with the Dallas Cowboys. Anthony, what's your take here on McCarthy, man? I know that they're playing well, but is it time to have this conversation?
No. Well, are you crazy here, Riggs? They're the best offense in the league. I don't care. I will give you your credit. Mike McCarthy, as you know, alone might not be the best head coach in the league. It doesn't matter. You could have a shoe calling plays out there. If you have an 8-3 record and you're a top 5 offense in the league, it's going to stay. The shoe would stay in that situation. This is the same Cowboys crap that gets them into trouble every single year. Because they're rolling, they hit one little speed bump in the year and they immediately point fingers at the coach because the coaching staff and the owner don't have the balls to point out a player and say, hey, look, Dak, you can't keep throwing picks, bud. So they're going to always look for a scapegoat, and it's always going to be the head coach. It just happens to be Mike McCarthy now. To say it now is just absolutely ridiculous. This is the best the Cowboys offense has looked since Dak Prescott has gone in the league. Dak looks like a much better quarterback statistically. Turnovers way down. If we get to the end of the year, they get bumped out of the first round of playoffs, maybe I could reconsider it. Looking right now, you'd have to be crazy to think he's on the hot seat.
Call me crazy, folks. I think he is on the hot seat. I don't understand how he's not on the hot seat. This isn't a right now conversation. This has been a conversation. This has been a last year they should have let this guy go. What has this football team done, Anthony? They're the same team every year. They play great for a couple games. They beat up a couple bad teams. Then they go on a little run for a while. We're like, oh my God, they might be good. Then they shit the bed a few weeks in a row. And then they get to the playoffs and they either fall short magically, which won't happen this year. They're going to get in and they're going to lose to, like, I won't even say this, but like the Seahawks. Like, they're going to go up in there and they're going to lose to somebody that shouldn't even freaking be there. That's who the Dallas Cowboys are. And you know whose freaking problem that is? Mike McCarthy. The dude has everything he needs. You mentioned the quarterback play. Dak actually looks good right now. Shocker. Don't look now, folks, but it's going to come crumbling down eventually. I think that Mike McCarthy, if you watch football, you understand that this guy is a freaking idiot. And I say that with all due respect. He makes bonehead calls. He has zero clock management. He makes terrible choices on 3rd and 4th down. He doesn't take the points when he should. We saw him last week in a situation where he should have gone for 2. He kicked the PAT. Then his team was down 1 point. Then he has the freaking chance to take a field goal and take the lead. And instead, he chooses to go for it on 4th and 7 with Dak Prescott because he thinks Dak Prescott is way up here in the rankings. Spoiler alert, Dak Prescott is not a top 5 quarterback. We can have this conversation on another day. But I'm just here to tell you right now, I do not like the way Mike McCarthy runs this football team. And all I'm saying is put Mike Tomlin in this position and see where the Dallas Cowboys go.
Riggs, let me ask you a question. If you were to take, since McCarthy has gone into the league, since he's been the head coach with the Cowboys, forget his time, with Green Bay, since he's been the head coach of the Cowboys, what does Mike Tomlin have to show that McCarthy doesn't?
Are we going to compare these football teams right now? Are you going to compare what they're working with?
Saying, not just because you're a Steelers fan. Overall, it's understood that Tomlin is a good coach in this league. I'm not going to debate that. But in terms of what you produced in championships, in NFC, in conference title, appearances, what does Tomlin have that McCarthy doesn't since he's been the head coach of the Cowboys? He doesn't have anything. So I'm just saying, if we're going to be holding guys to these standards, then we have to look more across the league and see what other coaches and the standards that they're held to as well.
Just to do a slight comparison there, let me flip the script on you here. Name a coach that you can put on the Pittsburgh Steelers and replace Mike Tomlin with that the Steelers will play better under. And then tell me that you couldn't take a couple coaches around the league, plug them into Mike McCarthy's job, and they do a better job than him.
That is a fair point. I will give you that one.
right? That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that Tomlin's done crazy good things or that this guy or the next guy, whatever. All I'm saying is when you look at the head coach, it comes down to, could someone else make your team better than it is? And at the end of the day, for me, the answer with Mike McCarthy is absolutely they could put someone in better in. But Jerry Jones doesn't want to do that. Jerry Jones wants a yes man. He has his quarterback. He has his running backs. He has his tight ends. He has everything that he wants. He has his head coach, and he doesn't win anything. Shocker. So all I'm telling you is, Anthony, do not be surprised when this football team doesn't make it to the Super Bowl. Don't be surprised when they don't even make it to the championship. This football team might make it to the second round of the playoffs, and then they will be exposed. And you know the best part about it? It's going to be because Mike McCarthy makes some dumbass play call when it really matters the most, and they can go ahead and take the field goal and win the game on 4th and 2, and he's going to be like, let's go for it on 4th and 2 so we can just run the clock out and then it's game. And it's going to be something that's so stupid, and I'm going to be sitting there smiling the whole damn way, Mr. Hirsch. So, hey, enough of Mike McCarthy. My blood pressure is going to boil if I talk about this guy any longer. But he absolutely belongs on the hot seat, but I'll give you that right now. Based on his record, he's not a Staley, a Ron Rivera kind of hot seat. It's more of a hot seat of, you better get it done by the end of the year, or we're going to have to really start having this conversation.